He loved the Philippines, but he was never afraid to criticize it when necessary. He believed that real patriotism means confronting hard truths, not ignoring them. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Rizal 110 podcast. I'm Mike, and today we're diving into something really interesting. Our topic for today is what might Jose Rizal think of contemporary issues? We often think of Rizal as a national hero frozen in history, but if we go deeper into his writings and principles, we realize that his ideas are still relevant, maybe even more urgent today. He wasn't just a writer or a doctor, he was a reformist, a global thinker, a man who deeply believed in national progress through peaceful, intellectual, and moral means. He loved the Philippines, but he was never afraid to criticize it when necessary. He believed that real patriotism means confronting hard truths, not ignoring them. So, let's start with social justice. Rizal lived in a time when Filipinos were racially discriminated against, silenced, and exploited. He fought these injustices using his voice, pen, and intellect, not weapons. In today's context, he would likely still fight systemic abuse, corruption, and inequality, especially those caused by political dynasties or elite control. However, Rizal would probably be critical of activism that lacks substance. He believed in actions guided by thought, not just emotion. So, protests and movements that are done for popularity or social media clout would go against his values. He would likely support grassroots movements that are organized, research based, and deeply committed to real reform. Rizal was clear in his writings: freedom is useless if it just creates new oppressors. This reminds us of his warning in El Filibusterismo that why independence if the slaves of today become the tyrants of tomorrow? In our time, this speaks directly to the cycle of corruption and abuse of power in many sectors of government and society. Now, let's talk about education, which was Rizal's greatest weapon. He believed that education is the foundation of true freedom, not just from colonizers but from ignorance. If he were to see our current education system, he would likely have a lot to say. Rizal would not be satisfied with an education system focused on memorization or outdated information. He would call for schools to teach critical thinking, civic responsibility, and nationalism rooted in understanding, not blind obedience. He would also be a strong advocate for inclusive and accessible education, especially for the poor and marginalized. He knew that only through education can the powerless gain the tools to stand up for themselves. Rizal would likely push for a modern curriculum that includes both local and global knowledge. An education system that strengthens Filipino identity while preparing students for a connected, globalized world. In his view, we must develop minds that think, question, and act, not just follow. So, moving on to economic policies, Rizal strongly criticized systems of exploitation. During his time, this came in the form of Spanish monopolies, unfair taxations, and land grabbing. Today, that might look like crony capitalism, foreign economic dependence, and policies that mainly served the rich and the powerful. Rizal would likely reject economic systems that widen the gap between the rich and the poor. He would support policies that promote agrarian reform, local entrepreneurship, and fair trade, especially if they empower ordinary Filipinos and make the country more self sufficient. Rizal believed that real progress must come from within, not from dependence on foreign powers. He would probably urge our leaders and economists to study successful nations, analyze what works, and apply it to the Philippine context without losing our values. His vision of development was not about quick gains, but about long term stability and dignity for the Filipino people. Finally, let's talk about globalization. Rizal was a global citizen in the truest sense. He lived in Europe, spoke multiple languages, and understood international politics. But he never forgot who he was, a Filipino with a responsibility to uplift his people. If he were alive today, Rizal would likely support globalizations that encourages cooperation and knowledge exchange. However, he would be very critical of globalizations that erases local culture or turns Filipinos into passive consumers instead of active participants in the global economy. He'd probably warn us about economic imperialism disguised as progress, where powerful countries or corporations take advantage of developing nations. At the same time, he'd probably admire overseas Filipinos who maintain their identity while thriving abroad, showing that it's possible to engage with the world without losing your roots. For Rizal, globalization should not mean losing ourselves. Instead, it should be about bringing the Filipino spirit to the world while staying proud of who we are. So, what would Rizal think of today's issues? I think he would still be that same reformist, unafraid to question, unwilling to settle for corruptions or laziness, and always driven by a deep love for country. He would push us to reflect not just on what's wrong, but on what we're doing about it. As he once said, the mission of education is to elevate the country to the highest seat of glory. That mission is still ours today. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of our Rizal 110 podcast. I hope this gave you a deeper insight of Rizal's legacy, not just as history, but as a lens we can use to understand our present and improve our future. Let's not just admire Rizal, let's live his ideals. See you next time.